we're just talking about how, you were saying it was only when you moved to the hills, because
Yeah.
we live up in a forest, that you really noticed what they call sads, but that winter blues.
Yes.
And I really think it's when we're actually connecting to nature, we get initiated by nature. So nature, in those winter months, if we're not in complete denial, we get put through a descent to really look at our stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, it was very interesting for me because prior to living in the city, I don't have any memory of having these full winter blues sessions that go on for a month or two, and then pretty much from the first winter that we lived up here in the mountains, and at that time very much in a forested area like this, with just an abundance of nature around us, a little cabin in the woods really.
Wow.
And just winter just came down like a ton of bricks on me.
Yeah.
And it's still happening really, and I found that very interesting to hear you tie that in with men and their sun cycles.
Yeah. Well, I was mentioning earlier that, out of going into the belly of the whale and confronting our greatest fears, which is what Hercules does in the cave, that is the moment when the hero really awakens through confronting the absolute crappiest things about yourself, self-loathing, guilt, remorse, whatever. But it's through that we're reborn.
Yeah.
And if we distract ourselves, we never go there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, in fact, that's the birth of a king,
Yeah.
When we're youthful, we can be arrogant. Plus, you're a dad, too.
Yes, it did tie in with parenthood, actually. In fact, exactly with.
There we go.
Yeah.
Because parenthood puts you in touch with nature, with the cycles.
Yes.
Yeah, we can kind of ignore that there are even cycles existing when we're just a young...
Or children.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think men's circles are probably most important for men when they become dads.
Yeah.
Because there's not a lot of support for men. There's so much focus on the baby and on the new mother.
And rightly so.
Yes. But, men are having their own quiet freak out.
Yeah.
Do you know? How am I going to provide?
Yeah.
Am I going to be
Absolutely.
like my dad? Am I going to hit my kids?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It is a whole stress out.
Yeah.
So in the circles, as part of your program, is there a meditation component, like a component of going within and confronting what lies there?
Yes. In order to find that stillness and connect with the wisdom of the heart, it's absolutely imperative to just do a simple guided meditation, because guided meditation gives the mind something to focus on.
Yes.
And men are ruled by the rational mind. So if you just say, whack the handbrake on and still your mind,
Yeah.
you go bananas.
Yeah.
It's like the thoughts actually get louder
Yeah.
because you're trying so hard to still it. Do you know?
Yeah.
So by taking men on a guided meditation, their mind can focus on the directive that's being given, and they're able to just attune from their head into their heart and be more heart directed. And that's what makes a man a king.
Yes.
When he's inner directed, so he's not looking for approval, he's not pleasing other people.
Yeah.
Because after the women's movement of the 60s and 70s, men have been kicked in the balls.
Yeah.
Do you know? So they're trying to do the right thing.
I think there's probably two extremes, isn't there? There's probably those who are trying to atone for the sins of past generations and patriarchal
Wankerville.
Yeah, and then there's those who are still, just kind of in that insecure, blowhard type mentality. And I'm sure I've oscillated quite wonderfully between the two.
Yeah. Well, I understand it as like the 3 stages of manhood.
Right.
So the first stage is when your masculinity is unconscious. So you're just sort of doing what the culture has said is manly. I drink beer, I drive a big car, I have a well-paying job, you know, the things that you think make a man a man. And that's when we can sort of aspire to be the alpha male, you know?
Yeah.
And then the second stage is when we reject that and we go, this is a crock of bull, you know? And that's when we start to connect with our inner feminine and we go, you know, I want to be more of a snag. I want to be somebody that isn't a jerk, and I want to be sensitive, i.e. I'd like to have a relationship with a woman.
Yeah.
Yeah, or with a nice man, not a prick.
Yeah.
And then what happens is a lot of men get stuck in that second stage of trying to please, trying to be sensitive, but they lose their primal, you know, they lose their balls.
Right.
So the third stage of masculinity is when you, through being mentored by men of all different ages and through that support of brotherhood, you find strength in your authentic masculine expression.
Yeah.
But you don't throw the baby out with the bathwater and become, you know, chest beating, you know, Neanderthal dick.
Yeah.
You've already got the feminine on board, but you're leading with your masculine. You're not leading with your feminine. And so that's what I feel men's circles gives men back.
Yeah. So it's not a regression back to being a blowhard again.
No.
Yeah.